Welcome to episode 20 of Podnutz. Today we're joined with none other than my own father, my dad, Cook Cherubino. And we're going to talk about electricity, cover a lot of electrical terms, and how that relates to the computer repair field. Basically what you need to know so you don't blow yourself up when you're doing a computer repair. Remember to check out Podnutz Daily, which is the daily show I do. It's at podnutzdaily.com. On that show, I take live callers, and if you just wanted to participate in Podnutz and didn't know how, you could tune into that show or leave us a message on the line, and I'll play that message on the air if it's a good, informative tip that I think others can use. You can also follow us on Twitter at podnutz.com/Twitter. So let's get right into the interview. Okay, so I'm here with my dad, Cook Cherubino, and we're going to be talking about electrical stuff, electrical terms, and all about electricity and how that relates to computers and doing computer repair. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Good. Long time no see.
Yeah. How you been?
Pretty good. All right, Dad. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background in the electrical field, just to start off?
I started off working at SEPTA. That's the local transportation company in Philadelphia, in the power section, and wound up supervising the power section. So my background is in substation power, electrical devices, circuit breakers.
Is this the power that runs the subway system?
Yeah, it's the power that runs the subway, the L, the trackless trolley, and all the devices that allow you to switch it and turn it off and turn it on.
When did you start working in that field?
In 1966.
So you know what you're doing pretty much, and you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, and I'm retired. I worked there 30 years.
Now, is your new boss much better than your old boss?
Right now he is, yeah. He's pretty good right now. I had a lot of bad bosses, though.
And now he has a good one, guys. If you don't know, that's me. All right, so I know just from growing up, Dad, that whenever I wanted to tinker with electronics or tear something open and see what makes it tick, I think ran over to you and said, "What's this thing and what's that thing and what's this component?" And you kind of helped me from burning myself or blowing stuff up. So I'm just going to go through some of the things that maybe somebody out there might have questions about as far as doing a computer repair, the electrical side of it, so they're not worried they're going to blow something up or burn something out. For example, a lot of laptops come with these power adapters, right? And They come different sizes, and they have different tips on the end of them, and different, they're all completely different. And is it okay to use one power adapter for another laptop, or do you have to use the same one that you should use the exact one that came with that particular model?
Well, I mean, it's not necessary that you use the exact same one. Naturally, the tips that's a mechanical issue, but the most important part of power adapters would be the voltage.
Okay.
You've got to have the right voltage. You got to make sure that the voltage is the voltage that you're looking for. The current or the capability, sometimes it's in wattage, sometimes it's listed. Current is listed. The current required for a particular power adapter. You've got to be sure that this power adapter can supply the current needed for that laptop. You can look at it as wattage, or you could look at it as current.
And current is amps, right?
Current is amps, and wattage is a total between voltage and current. But the wattage is listed on the adapter, and you got to make sure that you've got an adapter that will deliver the wattage, the minimum wattage of the original one that you're trying to replace.
What if it's lower than the wattage needed? Will it hurt anything?
Yes, it'll overheat. If the wattage is lower,
the power adapter overheats.
The power adapter will overheat. It might not be able to supply the necessary wattage or current. So it's just not going to work. That's something you don't want to do.
The voltage needs to be right. If you have a higher voltage, you could burn the system out. You don't want to put a higher voltage in than it says to.
You never want to put a higher voltage in, and you never want to put a lower voltage in.
Okay.
A lower voltage will give you it'll present issues also.
Okay.
But you got to have the voltage. That's got to be right to start with.
Okay.
So that's your baseline.
And then let's talk amps.
Okay.
Say I have a power adapter that has 19 volts, and it puts out 3.5 amps. And the laptop needs, say, 5 amps. So the power adapter that came with the laptop was a 5 amp adapter, and I have one that's 3.5 amps. Will that work, or what issue will that present if I try to use that?
The issue that it would present probably is that it would overheat. It's going to try and pump out the current that the laptop needs, and it's not built to put that out.
Okay.
So it's going to try and suck it out of that power adapter, and it's just not going to be there.
So the power adapter is going to try to work extra hard and sweat,
Exactly.
and it might damage the power adapter.
Exactly.
Okay, and the worst thing that would happen to the laptop was just won't turn on, or
might not turn on. You know, your screen may be dimmer. Who knows? Things won't work right.
Okay. All right. Now, what if the laptop I'm trying to fix requires 5 amps? Same situation, but I have a power adapter that puts out 19 volts and 10 amps. What if I put more amps? I have an adapter that has more amps than what's needed by the laptop. Is that going to present a problem?
No, that's not. That just means that power adapter is built way better than you need, and it can put out more amps than you're ever going to draw.
Okay.
So it's perfectly okay.
Okay, so it's okay to have more amps than you need, not good to have less amps than you need.
Exactly.
And voltage has to be exactly what's needed.
Right. That's got to be the baseline. The voltage got to be the right voltage.
Okay. Do you have a way of explaining like the difference between voltage and current?
Okay. When I was growing up and when I went through school, people would explain it to me and use an example of water in a pipe. The water pressure in a pipe is the voltage. The water does not have to be moving anywhere, just like the device that you're feeding electrically doesn't have to be working, doesn't have to be on. The water doesn't have to go anywhere, but it has a pressure. That pressure is the voltage. Now, when you turn the water on, when you turn the valve on, which is turning the switch on in electricity, the water starts moving down the pipe. That's the current. The pipe size and the pipe, how the distance that it has to travel, that could be the resistance in electricity. So, you know, the water pressure is the voltage, the moving water is the current, and the resistance to the water, whatever it may be, is the resistance like
the size of the pipe or whatever,
Exactly.
something blocking the pipe.